What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you come into the channel and check out the content. Now, with that being said, I want to go into a statement that Satu Sabale, I hope I'm pronouncing her name right. Satu Sabale said, she basically said because the WNBA made an offer and they offered to pay these young ladies four times what their base salary already is, right? Now, to me, four times sounds good to a lot of people. Most people who I've talked to said that, this is a really, sounds like it's a fair deal. Satu Sable says that she feel like this was a smack in the face. Now, I don't know if she's saying that because this was the first offer from the WNBA and maybe potentially they feel like or she feels like, they can do better if they don't accept this first offer. But I hope, in my opinion, I just hope that these young ladies are not overplaying their hand. And like she's because she did say this is a smack in the face. Like they were very, very insulted by this offer. Now, when you think about it, for since what? Since when this league started, I think in 97. Was it 97 or 98, something like that. And currently they're only getting 9% of the revenue share. And now, because of this is a good time for the WNBA players because you have more excitement generated around the league. You have more people that are watching and checking for the WNBA. You have stars like Caitlin Clark who are coming into the league and drawing more attention to the league. So there is some momentum and some excitement and some buzz around the WNBA. But the WNBA players have to also, keep in mind that the WNBA hasn't made a profit. And I mean, since forever, since the beginning of the league, when we're talking like 29 years. So the WNBA has not made a profit. And that's part of the reason why the owners say that they really are not in a position or haven't been in a position to give these young ladies a raise. But they don't, that these young ladies don't want to be in a position where they just mess it up for themselves altogether. I think that if they go into if these young ladies think that they do have the leverage to strike, I think what'll happen. I don't think that the WNBA, in my opinion, will recover from a strike. I think like a strike right now or a lockout is not good for the owners because they will also miss out on the momentum that the WNBA is building right now. They'll miss out on like the popularity that the WNBA has gained over the last couple years. And also for the players, I think they'll be missing out too. I think this will be a setback for the players because now, then if you go back to the table after a strike, then the owners will be like, well, now we lost. We missed that window of opportunity. We lost, and now we're not able to give you, the raise that you're calling for. So both sides, in my opinion, the players and the owners have to be very, very, very careful with how they manage this situation. Both sides stand to lose tremendously. But I do think that 9%, like what they're getting right now, the 9%, I do think that they're going to get a raise because most people agree that 9% is just not really good. Although, you know, like it's like they keep saying that they haven't made a rate, haven't made money, been losing money for over the years because they have been subsidized by the NBA. But my thing is, I think that it's just the cost of doing business, right? And I always use this analogy. Like if you own a restaurant and your restaurant sell, you're selling drinks and food, you would just have to pay whatever it costs to have the drinks and the food. That's like overhead. You gotta pay if you don't want to open a restaurant. You can't open a restaurant without drinks, or food. So alcohol and food. So you have to pay whatever it costs. You know, and I think it's the same with the WNBA. So these young ladies are getting right now 9%, which I think like the WNBA basketball players right now are probably the lowest paid professional athletes. Um, that I can recall, like tennis players, the NBA, like this league is the lowest paid league. So they really need to do something to bump up these young ladies' pay. Like I said, I just hope that they really don't mess this up. Like either side can mess this up. I don't think with like the Valkyries. Now the Valkyries, what are the Valkyries? They said the Valkyries are now worth like a half a million or I'm sorry, $500 million, like 500 million. And that's a lot. Then you have the New York Liberty who are worth now 400 million. And I think the Indiana Fever are close to 400 million. So you have all these teams that are now, their value is going up. So this right now is a good time for the WNBA players to strike while the iron is hot, but they don't want to go in too hard and then mess it up and try to own his hands and cause a lockout. That won't be good for like I said, for either party. A lockout for the NBA, for the WNBA won't be good, and a strike for the players won't be good because they won't be able to recoup that money that they're going to lose. And I think it'll turn the fan base off. And that's what everybody, I think people are taking for granted, the fan base. It took them a long time to build this type of excitement for the league. And so with that fan base, I don't know how much more the fan base can really withstand if they go to a strike or a lockout. And now you have people talking about certain players may go to another league. You have the Unrivaled League, which I think with the Unrivaled League with Breonna Stewart and Nafisa Collier, I think with that league, I think it'll benefit them. A strike would definitely benefit them because a lot of the players probably will go over to the Unrivaled League. Now, will the Unrivaled League be able to capitalize on that? If the WNBA go to a strike, they probably so, because if that's the only thing that, women basketball have going for them, then the Unrivaled League probably will be able to benefit. But I just think the WNBA, in my opinion, is a better product than the Unrivaled League. People are traditionally used to seeing the 5-on-5. The 3-on-3 it's cool, it's okay, but the 5-on-5 I think is a better product than that 3-on-3, what you see with Unrivaled League. And then you have to think about Breonna Stewart and Nafisa Collier. They're like their conflict of interest. Like, so they're representing the WNBA and they're part owners in the Unrivaled League. So if the WNBA goes into a strike, like I said, it benefits these two young ladies in the league that they're co-founders of. So it's a lot going on with this collective bargaining agreement. Like I said, I hope that they are able to reach an agreement, because I don't want to see these two different sides miscalculate and lose out on that fan base. It's just like I said, there's a lot going on in the WNBA. You got hard fouls, and then you have certain players. You got Caitlin Clark, who's not playing right now. People want to see Caitlin Clark. Then you have other players who they say get favoritism, or certain players in the league who don't even really treat their fans right. They don't act like they appreciate their fans. So These women just look like they might drop the ball, and I hope they don't. I hope they are able to take advantage of this opportunity and don't set themselves back. But that's just my take on it. Let me know what you think about it. Do you think they're going to strike, or there will be a strike or a lockout, or do you think they'll try to they'll come to some type of agreement? I'm of the mindset that they will come to some type of agreement because both sides, I think, recognize and realize that this opportunity may not come around again for the WNBA. And a lot of people, or people starting to make more money, both in ownership and the players. So I think both sides recognize that, and I think they'll be able to work it out and won't strike or lock out. So yeah, like I said, that's my take on it. Make sure to like and subscribe. And with that being said, also leave a comment. Don't forget to yeah, like I said, like and subscribe, and I'll check you all out in the next video. Peace.